Hey, it's Better Photo Jim with your question of the day. And today I'm going to share with you a question that I saw a lot and had to do with composition. How do I compose a photo creatively and artistically? And some of you asked about what are some advanced composition techniques? And I can hear exactly what you're asking in that. And that's that many of the compositional principles are foundational, and you may have heard them. You may have heard them many times. And for example, one might be the rule of thirds. You may have heard that if you divide the scene up into three cross lines going horizontally and three lines going vertically, so it's kind of like a tic-tac-toe screen, and then put your subject on one of the crosshairs, one of the intersections of that rule of thirds, that will almost always make a more interesting photo. It especially works when you place your main subject off to one of those corners, and then there's something interesting, something that paints more meaning and depth to that subject in this background. You have a relationship going, and that will add a lot of interest, a lot of story to your photo. But now you may have heard that. And the one question that I have for you then is, maybe you have heard it, but maybe you're not doing it all the time. So make sure that it's become a habit. And you may really be asking, if you're asking for advanced compositional tips, you may be asking for to take a course and have an instructor who is providing you with the motivation to go out there and create even better composed photo, even more beautiful artistic compositions. Having said all that, there are a couple of things that I can think of that I think will benefit anybody, even if you've heard the basics. And one is watch your background. Make sure that you're paying attention not to just to that subject that you love so much, which is really hard to do because we're programmed to focus on the thing that is getting our attention. But make sure that you develop this habit of looking around the background, see the books in the background, see the artwork made out of a surfboard in the background, and make sure that you move in order to eliminate something that isn't working for the scene, eliminate any distraction from the background. Or if you're photographing, say, a field of flowers or a bunch of flowers in your garden, make sure that there's no dark holes like around the corners and no big dark spots where the dirt showing in the background. You want to try to, watch that background and carefully make sure that it's exactly the way you want it to be. And then the last tip that I'll have for you is, if you're photographing with a wide angle, getting a big scene, see if you can go in close to some foreground object. Find some interesting object in the foreground when you're photographing a landscape and get close to it. And that will add so much depth to the photo. And again, it'll add a lot of story and meaning to it. And it will send your landscape far and above the competition. You'll just be so much better than most of the photos that have been taken of that particular scene. All right, this is Better Photo Jim. I hope that helps you. Have fun composing wonderful, beautiful photos.